Hello, and welcome back to Oolykee Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. And today we're gonna be doing a lot of auto building. Okay, probably scared a lot of people away. Of course, we're not going to be doing auto building. We might touch on the subject as well. See, Tom and myself were considering something, and I had another idea concerning the auto build and realism behind it. And it's actually quite interesting because I grew up in a small town that had a sugar refinery, and it was kind of interesting that to me that sugar refinery was built by foreign workers, even though I lived in a country then 20 million people. You know, how come they can't build a factory, and what's the deal with that? And then I realized that actually it doesn't really matter. Well, it was outsourced. I think it was Belgium or Danish technology, I believe. Maybe it's even Danish technology, and the Danish company finished building the refinery. And we started talking in the comment section about. I'm kind of. I don't know if anybody's gonna hate me because of that, but I'm a kind of fan of nuclear energy. I think it's 21st century. We should use 21st century technology to power our civilization. And there are new breeds of reactors, like fast reactor, that actually creates significantly less waste than the conventional reactors. So anyway, fan of nuclear reactors. There we go. Hopefully that that's an interesting fact about me. Anyway, right. So what I wanted to do is check what do we have here for people coming to work. This is practically done, but we need to supply these people with, well, let's say stuff. I can see straight away that I have an issue with supplying people. Well, actually, people don't have to be supplied here. So let's go and buy an excavator here, and that's fine. Building without power supply, of course, that's gonna be a problem. I believe we can get power from here now. And what about these buildings? These are not without power supply. Actually, do we need power there? Well, I'll check it. We'll check it. It's not a problem. Okay. Did you construct this one? Not yet. Of course, we require steel for this one as well. Right. I see some of the flaws that I did concerning building these buildings. I mean, like, come on, me and flaws, that's impossible. What I'm gonna do now is construct a couple of more paths, just to have everything nice and connected over here. Let's see if we can do something like... What I would like to do here is I would like to build... Okay, something like this initially. Let them just construct this, and that's fine. I'll focus on this in a moment. What I wanted to say is, for example, some countries don't have expertise to build certain technology. For example, I'm a fan of nuclear technology. I believe in 21st century we should be using 21st century technology. I mean, I have absolutely nothing against, probably a little bit against wind and solar, but I don't think they're reliable. And as nuclear, it's a discussion that we can have, but it doesn't matter. It's just my personal opinion, and hopefully some of you agree, some of you disagree. I actually like to disagree with people, so we can have a constructive conversation, but this is not the topic of this one right now. The topic is, for example, Ireland. I live in Ireland. I'm Croatian, but I live in Ireland for the last, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, I don't even remember. And if Ireland wanted to build a nuclear power plant, how would it go about it? Employ their own construction company and start building? Well, that's not really the case how it would work. I mean, like, with zero expertise in creating nuclear technology. You know what I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna try something. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get a big dumper truck like this one. Maybe it's overkill. I don't know. You know what? I'll still do it. If it's a mistake, let us make a mistake. I wanted to build this one, and I'll tell them to go and unload the gravel, and I'm gonna work on this area to make it all operational and nice. Right. So if Ireland wanted to create a nuclear power plant, it would probably get that from, well, some people that know what they're doing. For example, Not British. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just across the Irish Sea, there's a Sellafield nuclear power plant. Actually, I even work with them sometimes in my well, it's not personal life, but in my work life. I used to work something regarding Sellafield, but it doesn't matter. Sellafield is a nuclear power plant. I think it could be just a storage facility right now, just across the Irish Sea here from Dublin. And probably you would hire somebody like British or French or American or Russian or Chinese as probably the best choice because they are probably the cheapest ones and they have the freshest. But I think even what's the called? What's the nuclear power plant in UK that is being constructed now? I'm gonna remember hopefully. But anyway, nuclear power plant there is being built by Chinese, I believe. I might be wrong, but you know, you can always correct me in the comment section. But Chinese, I think they're building this power plant, and it's interesting. I believe if Ireland decided to build a nuclear power plant, it would probably be Chinese. But okay, so how do you stimulate this outsourcing of this technology? And I believe it's not only nuclear technology. Steel mill, for example, you wouldn't. With all due respect to, let's say, I don't know, Andorra, you wouldn't be having Andorran Star Trek, anyone? Andorra company building the nuclear power plant or steel mill. Maybe they have really good ones, but Vatican, let's go with Vatican. I'm pretty sure Vatican doesn't have really good construction companies that construct steel mills. There we go. So you wouldn't hire Vatican to construct this. If you are a Vatican and Pope wants to have a steel mill in the backyard, they wouldn't be hiring, you know, a Vaticani or a Vatican company to construct this. They probably would go with some professional company, I don't know, Germany, China, or something like that. Whoever is the expert in building the nuclear power, the steel mills. So in this case, in this game, and I believe for many things you need expertise to build chemical plants, for example. I mean, like, it doesn't seem like it's the most complicated thing to build. It's not really construction industry construction. It's actually something a little bit more complicated. At least I think it's a little bit more complicated. So yeah, that's my opinion. Really? You can't walk anywhere? That's an interesting one. I think this one is gonna be fun to connect it all the way there. Anyway, so how would you simulate that? I'm gonna address the auto build issue again. Having instant building built instantly, I think it's a big downside, and I think it should be regulated. But I also think if you have auto build from the beginning, that it lasts, let's say, a year to build a power plant, let's say power plant. If you are trying to set this up for YouTube video or even for yourself in game, you would lose your mind if you had to wait for a year for all your constructions to be finished. So technically this auto build is, you know, solution for all the problems, but also is a cause of all problems. So it's interesting. Right, so I think it's gonna be a lot of discussion about this, but also I feel, and I'm pretty sure some of you might say this, I would like to avoid being part of this discussion because sometimes it feels like you know, you're leading the way in something that you know nothing about, like myself. I'm not really nothing about, but not a lot about stuff. Anyway, I don't want to set wrong expectations. I don't want BC74SJ to think again how I'm some kind of expert on something. But it's flattering to think that, you know, people had this kind of opinion about me, but no. I'm not an expert in this game. I'm learning. Stats contributed enormously to my learning, unfortunately. Hopefully it's gonna continue in the future as well. But anyway, so right, I'm really happy about this, and I still didn't connect it to the road network. And let me see if we can. We can actually, and this is what I wanted to do here. I'm gonna go and build this one over here and connect it all the way. I want to keep the geography as it is. I don't want to do any terraforming. I think I'm proud of this project. Not much to be proud of, but you know, I like that I actually implemented this unloading station for Mr. Toprus. So yeah, I kind of like that. Bridge is being finished, as you can see here. They're bringing steel construction for the bridge, and it's progressing quite nicely. Obviously, we have a little bit of a population issue, and oh, just to make it clear, I had a chat also with Mr. BC74SJ. it's I said initially we set up plan to have 50,000 people by 1970, and obviously this is not gonna happen. But what I wanted to say that even if we have 5,000 people, I will still be happy and admit that we made a mistake in judgment and that we failed in a task. Fine, we're gonna fire our deputy, or we're gonna end up in Siberia ourselves, and that's gonna be so much fun for us and our families as well. So right, I don't mind failing. This is the main point of the story. Right, so let's continue what I wanted to do today. I sent the truck here to be loaded and unloaded. Again, still a little bit busy in my personal life, so my mind is all over the place. I'm still settling in the new place, but what I wanted to say is, he's on the way. What I wanted to say is that I don't remember that if this rock crusher requires electricity. I'm pretty sure it does, and that would be again bad planning on my part because I didn't connect it to the electricity. And let me see, how far do you cover? You don't cover that much. How much do you cover? Where did we build? We built one over here, and this is gonna be a disaster if I actually build one here and I intentionally or unintentionally missed a huge part of our industry that I didn't cover this, but it's fine. I'll build a new one close by, and hopefully that's gonna be covered. Okay, while we wait for this, I will speed this up just because there's no point in waiting for too long for this. It's just gonna be a long episode. I wanted to point out a couple of other things that some of you might be aware, some might not be aware, but it might sound cruel when I say that I don't want to record more than, let's say, 50 episodes of this series. It doesn't have anything to do with me losing interest in this. It probably has a little bit. I still didn't lose interest in this map, but it's the problem with people get bored a lot, especially, for example, there's a running joke that, oh, I forgot to do something, I'm gonna do it now. There's a running joke that there's no point in exporting a gravel for 50 years so you can buy a hospital or a school or something. So there's no point of you guys looking at me exporting really cheap commodity that is really not needed. That is not really high valued, and there's no point to that. What I wanted to say, so this is a test that we're gonna do. I think we agreed that this is first Mr. Seatom mentioned this, and we're gonna try to implement this. Mr. Seatom suggested that we try out, or maybe if it's gonna help if we have additional connections to our border crossing, that maybe it's gonna go faster. I'm pretty sure, not 100%, but I'm sure that it probably won't help. But because the bottleneck is not them having an access to the station, it's actually bottleneck is actually the trucks going in and out of the station. So this is the bottleneck. And also there's another thing. This is road office. We need to assign it to footpath office. There we go. There's another thing that I kind of came to a conclusion. We'll see if we have it here, but that these are probably the worst border crossings in the game, because they're huge, they're enormous. I think something like this would be much better. Probably 3 trucks would be the best, because these border cross, and this is Old Gala, shout out to Old Gala, he suggested something that I totally ignored, is we have a border crossing here, so we can import whatever we need to import or export this way. Unfortunately, we don't have any production this way, but we can send some trucks if we need to export some small stupid stuff or something high value, like let's say alcohol or something. Any release of pressure from the border crossing would be very much welcomed. You can see that this additional line that we are building, additional car lane that we are building here, it's gonna be interesting to see how it's gonna work out. I'm trying to do a proper job and straight away build the something more, something better. Okay, well, higher quality. We're gonna go for gravel rather than anything else. Okay, we removed all of this from here. We have a big snow plow over here for cleaning all these gravel roads. I'm pretty sure this is not gonna work, but it doesn't hurt testing it because I like testing things. So hopefully this is gonna be. Well, we're gonna prove now that having additional access or 2 additional accesses here that it's not gonna work so easily. Okay, coffee time. It's your time to like and subscribe if you didn't by now. Come on, come on. I know 50% of you watching this video didn't subscribe. If you help the channel grow, maybe maybe I'm not gonna have to sell my opinion online, you know, because I'm earning so much money from this. So if we have more subscribers or viewers, one day, in 200-300 years, maybe I'm gonna quit my day job. If it continues this pace. I'm gonna make a video about the channel and finances of this channel, or YouTube finances and this kind of stuff. But you already saw 100 times this from other YouTubers, but why the hell not? I'm all for transparency. Right, so let's go and build some housing over here. Let's see what we did. We have, I think it's 80 people working here. We're gonna need... let's recheck our industries. So we have factories here. We have, I believe, tiny mine. That would be tiny iron mine with rail. That's 10 no, that's a processing plant that we have. This is the one. So we have this one. The 10 workers work here. Usually, really few workers work in these mines. I will be looking for an actual mine in this case. Yes, this is the mine. Let's see where it is. It's in the last page. Oh, no, it's not. Where the hell is it? Interesting. I thought it... Oh, right. It's under mines section. My bad. When you're looking for this kind of stuff, you need to be careful with it. Okay, so this is a small coal mine. It requires... sorry, the small iron mine requires 80 workers. Let's be sure that it's iron. It is. 80, 90 workers. So let's go. Only in those 2 factories we're gonna need 3 shifts. That's gonna be 270 people plus let's go for double for people working in the shops, kindergarten, hospitals and all that stuff. So let's go and try to make this let's start with 500 people living in the town here. I'm gonna go for a bigger style of construction of buildings. That's gonna be let me see, are we being sourced back from here? Let's see what's happening. Right, we still didn't finish this one. We still need to finish, of course, steel. Who knew? Who knew that steel is gonna be a bottleneck thing around here? Right, this is progressing quite nicely. We're missing concrete. Okay, and we have way too many workers delivered here, so... concrete. I should shut up now. And here we go. This one is coming. Anyway, right, this is even not important because we're gonna have all this industry here for nothing. Well, not really for nothing. We can always start importing stuff. Actually, you know what? I think I might do exactly that. Because we're gonna have... Actually, I don't know. I was thinking of getting a couple of trucks delivering iron from this border crossing all the way here, just to remove the load of this border crossing, and this is done now. People are, well, trucks are not even using this border, well, this lane. Well, I'm gonna leave it for a while and see how it goes. This is just a test. It's an honest suggestion, and I definitely 100% agree in testing things around here. I also mentioned to Mr. Petit that some of the mistakes we do is intentional in the way that we are trying to test things out. For example, these lumber yards. I'm pretty sure we're not gonna need these lumber yards in the amounts that we have them at the moment. The thing about these lumber yards is I wanted to see how much coal we can actually produce, or charcoal in this case. I might increase the number of workers working here just to see if we can speed the production of charcoal. What's the production? It's 5 tons a day. Yeah, 5 tons a day and 7 tons a day the steel mill requires. This was never meant to be a steel mill supply, but does this one have a conveyor belt? It does. I was thinking maybe building a small power plant here, but I think that's way too much. I won't go there. Right, what do we have here? This is almost done. It requires 10 tons of steel, 21 tons. Yeah, this is the rail part of the tunnel. So they are finished digging the tunnel, and you can see that this is basic construction of rails. These bricks are probably just a typo mistake because 35 kilos of bricks to finish construction. I'm pretty sure not needed. Okay, so this guy here cannot go back to the cannot go back to the where he came from. Let's see this one. When you go there, will this one be able to go? No. Okay. I'm wondering how they actually cooperate here. So what this train construction vehicle is doing now? I was surprised by this, but I'm gonna just clear it out for everybody. This train went all the way here because he's actually constructing this railroad towards the border. And railroad towards the border is there's no way for them to build this except if they turn around. The vehicle needs to turn around, so from here we can't really build this one. So actually he was going back at the moment. We can. Okay, so now this one is gonna get green light to, or not. I should probably. I could now build something like this, for example. Is this? No, let's go with this one. Actually, I'm worried about the boards. What's with this? Steel, right? It doesn't matter because we're lacking steel anyway, so I won't be forcing this. We are importing steel here, but we're lacking a lot of steel. One of them being the railroad construction office over here. Which actually that might be the bottleneck I'm staring at the moment, because this town might be finished at one point if we ever start building it. But let's start on this one. So this town might be finished before the railroad is done, and that's a worrying part. I think I'm gonna have to set the steel imports, or at least send a truck to deliver steel to the railroad construction office directly. Yeah, he's going to be constructing a lot of railroad infrastructure, so maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sure if I should be setting this up or not. The border crossing again is getting a little bit clogged, and that's a little bit worrying because I would like the exports to go a little bit more smoother. Of course, we can always put these trucks back on the roads, which is going to create additional clogging, but it's also going to speed up the exports. These exports, like I mentioned before, about intentionally making some mistakes, like the second forestry over here. Yes, we are exporting some boards, and I'm doing this intentionally just to see if it's a viable source of export. I made a couple of tutorials, what to start with. You can check it on the channel. We can start with a lot of different industries and resources that we can export, for example fuel, coal, electricity, this kind of stuff, to earn a lot of money initially. The problem is that some of the resources are not so viable. They are useful, but they might be just too much of a problem. For example, in this case, it would be export of, let's say, boards or prefab panels. They don't bring a lot of money. They do bring money, and it's worth it in the long term, but is it worth it clogging our border crossings with trucks that are exporting? Like, for example, this one is exporting 2,000 rubles of stuff, this one is exporting 1,000 rubles worth of stuff, and then you get the boards, which is worth like several hundred rubles, which might not be, it's clogging up our supply chain, or export chain in this case. So it's something that we need to consider in this kind of difficulty that we're playing. So a lot of stuff that we're doing here, it's not perfect, and I agree with that, but also some of the stuff is really intentionally not perfect just to test it. For example, one of the things is the pollution over here. We discussed this in the comment section as well. There's a high level of pollution here. You can see here, it's a little bit less visible now, but you can see see the pollution is dark red. It's actually more than I ever saw before in this area. So people living next door to here, you can see the average lifespan is 50 years. Unfortunately, this is not good for our people. 56, 57, what do we have here? Let's check. 60, 58, 65. As you go further from the pollution, the lifespan of people in that area gets much longer. And then you have here 88 years old. This is really good. So all these people here, they're living in the pollution zone. Unfortunately, this is how the world works as well. I know there's a lot of, what was it called, dark side of London, or smog that they had in London in the, well, 20th century, I believe, in the 18th century. Anyway, it's not gone from everywhere, especially, like, let's say, countries like China that has a little bit less environmental regulations. I mean, that's the price they pay. Well, people pay usually. But anyway, this is just the kind of test if, you know, how far we should keep the people from the, I mean, like, it's kind of obvious that you should keep them, you know, in a green zone if possible, but also it's a test to see how the pollution expands. We don't have any wind speeds at the moment, but maybe wind speeds as well can influence them significantly, you know, where the pollution goes. So it's just some kind of tests I'm running in the background concerning these things. Of course, this is totally different. This is way far away, way far. Yes, I'm a rapper in my free time. Right, so all of this is done. Like I said, the biggest problem we're gonna have is the railroad now. I'm thinking that if we finish this, which I'm hopefully gonna focus on by the end of this episode, oh right, we have this guy here. Yeah, we're gonna need this guy, so I'm gonna go, and I didn't know this. Thanks Stats for telling me this, but these vehicles over here, if you go for bulldozer, let's go with bulldozer first because it's cheaper. Excavators are much more, maybe not much more, but they're more expensive. So I'm gonna go with one bulldozer and start building our infrastructure over here. Like I said, pollution is an interesting thing, how to cope with it, but also we're gonna be building now buildings really close to majority of our industry here to keep it in a walking distance. So that's gonna be a thing also. What I'm gonna build here is, again, I'm gonna go for these small wooden shops because they are so cheaty and we like cheating in this channel. So I'm gonna go and build, hopefully build on both sides here, one of each of the shops. Well, also we were discussing in the comment section about the shops. Were we? No, we were discussing about something else. Right, so a couple of things I wanted to mention. Oh, here we go. Okay, but no excavator, so I'm gonna have to buy excavator here as well. Do we go for the proper one or the smaller one? You know what? I never use the I don't think it's even worth using cheaper ones. Let's go with this cheap crap here, just to see how it goes. Cheap crap excavator, and see if it's gonna be good enough for us. And why the hell did they close this? Right, so we discussed, what did we discuss? I totally, oh, right, we discussed the idea of having a one-street towns. One-street towns would be towns that have only one street, and on the street is connected only what you need, you know, like hospital, shop, this kind of stuff. Let's go for additional construction office, and this one here as well. So what we're gonna need is the one street, yeah. So path, here we go. So one street cities where they only have one street, everything else is connected with paths. Like even if you build buildings that they have car access to them, you don't have to connect them with cars. You can connect them with the paths only if they have access for paths. But I think most of the buildings do. So there's an idea where you can actually build city with only one street, and let's see if we can do something like this over here. So one other thing that you would need vehicle access to would be fire department. So we're gonna go there. That would be a fire station. I'm gonna go for something a little bit bigger. This actually doesn't really matter how big. Let's go for this fire station here. They need to be near the main street. That would be around here. that can be, they have a vehicle here, that means that it can be constructed by vehicle. And then we have hospital. Why the hell I keep clicking on this? And also BC74SJ said that I should set up these quick keys. I'm so useless about this, so I'll hopefully at one point I will be doing this, but I'm just so useless with these. Even in Command and Conquer, when I used to play it in the 90s, I never assigned my units to these numbers. Later on I did, but it took me a while. What do we do now? Which hospital do we want? Big clinic. Is it too big? Might be too big. Should we go... I like this wooden one because it has 3 vehicle access. It doesn't have a lot of doctors, so I'm not sure if critics will agree with me here or not, but I'm thinking that this hospital might be like something that I will be using a lot. This hospital has 3 vehicles. It doesn't have a lot of doctors because you don't really need that many doctors. If everything is working fine, then everything should be fine, but once it stops working fine, then you have problems. Let me see, the footpaths here are all built up, so that's nice to see. Let me see if we have any connectivity. No, we don't. Okay, so we have a problem here, even people working to this rock crusher. Let's see this one. This one is... oh, it's full. Oh, this is sweet. Okay, so wait until unloaded. So that's an interesting thing. Perfect. So we have 200 meters here. What I would like to build from here is a path, a little bit more direct path. Something like this. Okay, this is not going to be as easy as I thought. I wanted to build a path that goes directly here. Okay, that's strange. Why won't it build here? Might be the pillar over here that is causing some problems, but pylon. Yeah, let's go with pylon. This one doesn't like it. Let's try to connect it one more time. Overlaps with existing construction. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit longer path over here, so let's see. Go past the pylon. Yeah. No, it's just electricity hose. Right, so we're gonna go here, connect it over there, and then... let's see if we can get this working. So this is gonna be a two-stage project for paths. I'm gonna leave them to it. We have our basic infrastructure being constructed here. We're gonna need kindergartens, we're gonna need cinemas, gym. Let's start with that. We have a cinema. We're gonna go for something. The village club is actually quite nice. It takes a lot of space and it has enormous capacity, and I really think it's an overkill. Maybe we should go for some. Library is nice. It's much smaller. Maybe I should go for a library. Let's see. If the work is gonna be here and we're gonna be building around this area, maybe I should. Let's see if we can level part of the ground here and see how this is going to work. If we ever gonna expand this area, mining, I believe it should be on the other side there, so I'm gonna probably build more on this side. So we have this guy over here, that would be a library. We need a city hall. Yeah, why the hell not? We have village council here. Why the hell not? Let's go next to it. Let's build a path street next to this one. So let's go like city council, construction office, cooling tower, distribution factory, farm, field, fire station we built, I think. Yeah. Gas station is probably going to be required. I'm gonna go and I think I'm gonna be placing one of these just for the sake of it. Did I say that I like this one or not? I don't remember. But let's build this one. I'm gonna do it in this direction, and hopefully I'm gonna remember to supply it with fuel. We'll pay attention to that later. We have a town council here, but let's see where we are. Hospital done. Heating plant, yes, this is something I need to focus on. It will be heat exchanger actually that I need here. Heat exchanger, no collision heat exchanger. Mr. Novo, the savior of human race. Right, Mr. Novo is the author of this, no collision. no collisions, a heating plant, which I'm a big fan of. The problem with it will be... Ooh, it's freezing outside. Is this smoking? Oh, you son of a gun. Oh, this is not good. Oh boy. We're losing people. We're losing people. We are definitely losing some people. There we go. These houses over here are they self-heated or not? You can see that this drops significantly. Doesn't say that there's a sick people in here. Could be self-heating house, but they're not happy because of something. What is this? Religion? Doesn't matter. They're not happy. They're not happy because of the housing not having heating. I believe that would be the main thing. Right. Did we move some of the people? No, we didn't. But I still think this is a big issue here. What do we have? We need 7 tons of steel. Even the steel is not being imported fast enough, or as we are importing it at the moment. I don't even know what actually requires this much steel anymore, except the railroads that we're constructing. But let's see our steel reserves here. 37 tons. That's not insignificant. That's actually quite decent amount. I'm gonna have to go and check if we have everything that we need here. What are you transporting? This one is going to load steel, and this one is going to load steel. Actually, this one is delivering steel, and where are you doing? Heating pipes. Okay, this one, well, this is gonna be done soon, but again, this might be, well, I think it's a disaster already. We're losing people a little bit here, but I'm gonna leave it as it is. I'm gonna leave it as it is. No, I won't be speed building this, even though you say, oh, now you're not gonna speed build. How convenient for you. Yes, of course it is. Fuel station, you know what? Maybe we don't need a fuel station. Maybe we don't need it because we have the other one, and I don't see a lot of trucks over here because we're gonna have train. So that should be enough. So what do we have here? This is gonna require people to finish. Okay, all of this is fine. I would like them to finish these pathways just for me to test it if they're gonna be able to walk from here to the closest buildings here, or we're gonna have to build more buildings. I will build more buildings, no problem with that. It's just something that I wanted to do. You can see that they're actually constructing buildings, and buildings. We need priority for resources. We need priority to set the heating, for example, infrastructure to have priority for construction. Okay, and that being said, what's happening here? Again, steel. Interesting. Totally interesting. Technical services over here. We have how many? 2 trucks. Should I give them more? No, I'll leave it alone for now. So we are building this. What about this, for example? This one is in range. So it's in range of these housing. So as soon as we populate it, it should be fine. So we should be fine. Yeah, and these new buildings that we're constructing, they're gonna have more population than capacity. More population capacity. Okay, building temperature too low. They're not complaining about these buildings, but what about school? Building temperature too low. So I believe that people can get sick here, kids and people alike. What I'm gonna do now is maybe just drop the school for now, so nobody comes here. Just for a moment until they finish this, and then, oh, what the hell? Oh, right, that's a path. Let's see. Truck on the way. It is. But we're gonna need. Oh, right. Can you source people from here? Yes, you can. Did we transfer this? We need to transfer that. They source people from here. There we go. And the footpath office as well, because they have buses too. They have feelings too. There we go. And here we go. So they can source people from here and then take them to the pipe construction site here. You can see that it's still not on the way. Where exactly is the truck for heating system? Let's see it. Oh, it's on the way, but it's snowy conditions. Okay, let's focus on the city over here that we started with. So we have a town hall and the library, and we're gonna go for something more. So heat exchanger, right? Actually, we started on that one, right? Right. Sure. Let's go with heat exchanger. I think I'm gonna level the ground a little bit more, just to because these non-collision buildings are kind of tricky, and Yeah, maybe it's let's try something with collisions. Just to see how it's gonna look like. Mr. Robs to the rescue. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one in this case. So we're gonna have a heat exchanger over here. So we need to build a pipeline to the heating plant. It looks like the closest or the fastest connection will be through the hillside here, which I'm fine with. Actually, maybe I'm not fine with it. The problem with this hillside connection is 1, 2, 3. The problem with hillside, where is this exactly? This one here. If you build it directly like this, look what's gonna happen. You're gonna get something like this. This is not what I like. Obviously, this is much shorter construction than well, that's the fastest way you can get from one point to the other. What I'm gonna try to do here is remove all of this. All the way here, and if you actually build it bit by bit, so if you go stage by stage, it's gonna follow the hillside how it usually goes. Unfortunately, it didn't leave me with a trail to follow, with at least not any significant trail that I can notice that we can follow like this. Okay, let's go bit by bit. There we go. I'm gonna go across the street here, maybe directly. It's pretty high, that's fine. And let's go from the opposite side, 1 up, that's fine. This one doesn't like it. There we go. Okay, that's ooh, too long. Okay, but it's just. Let me see if we can always shorten this up. Let's see. Too long. It can actually, yeah, it's too long. Let's cancel all of it. Let's try from this side. Let's go 1 up, 2 up, 1 up. 1 up. 1, 2, this way. Okay. So let's try it this way. Let me try to get it directly where it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go this way, so if I build it this way, and then we can build a pumping station or forwarding station. That's not a problem. And maybe I'm gonna have to resort to the ungodly thing that I don't like to do. That would be, you know, just build the you know, as high as it goes. What? Too long? Some other infrastructure on the way up. Yeah, this might be a problem a little bit. So that's Oolykee playing with this for a while. Actually, this is not too high. It's fine, but the problem is that it's still too long. 1 and 2 and 3, and let's go over the railroad. Too long. Okay. Right. Okay. It might be too long. It's not a problem. We can always just move this one over here, so to somewhere a little bit closer. For example, I can build this heat exchanger much closer to the actual heating plant, which is going to be something like this, and it should cover everything. Okay, these buildings seem like they don't require heating, but like I said, this is 200 meters, and we're gonna develop in this direction, so this is fine. I will be placing this heat exchanger over here and hoping that it's gonna cover everything, but this is definitely in range of our heating plant. One more time, I'm gonna go for 1 too high. Let's go too high. Let's go directly here. 1 and a 2, that's fine, and just connect it directly. There you go. So we have a heating plant connected to this. Of course, this exchanger is going to be troublesome, and like Stat said, I should be calculating the amount of heat by the buildings I'm constructing, and I always forget to do that. How much heat every building requires, but I just do a Hail Mary and hope that everything is gonna be fine. I'm kidding. So the problem with heating plant is actually that it doesn't have to supply 100% heat, even less capacity. So if you have, let's say, 150% capacity here, and that you're not getting all the hot water because of the distance, it's still gonna work. They're still gonna survive. It's gonna be less heating, but it's gonna be still, well, heating. Coffee time. My whistle is getting dry. Right. So let's continue on. We have heat exchanger, heating plant, hospital. We build this kindergarten. I'm gonna place this later. I think I'm gonna start building proper Soviet kindergartens, like maybe this. I don't know if this is realistic. I don't remember how many kids can it service, but yeah, let's keep it for now. Mine monument, parking lot, platform station. I don't know if we're gonna be using platform station. For students, it's gonna be really tricky. Power plant. Power substation, that's gonna be required. I'm gonna put that in the end as well. Pub, why the hell not? Pub is another building that actually needs access because it has deliveries of booze, of alcohol. So I will put this one here as well. So we have this one, and I'm just gonna assign here the footpath office, from Statsovo. Okay, railroad construction office, railroad transformer, residential. This is, here we go. School as well. School, I didn't hear a lot of complaints about this wooden school, and since I'm a big fan, I'm gonna leave this wooden school as a lesson school, as an official school of Alaska, Alaskan type school. There we go. So let's build one of these. This looks like it's gonna be a little bit further off the road. It looks like it's a big height. Oh dear lord, what the hell is this? Okay, I'll work around it, hopefully. I'm gonna have to connect this to a footpath at one point, but we have school now, we have shop, we have sports playgrounds. Yes, this is the one that we need as well. So I can build it maybe around here. Let's try with this one. Here we go. Maybe something like this. And then if I want to go for a footpath office, it's probably going to be somewhere around here, of course, across the railroad. And then we're going to come to a little bit of a problem here because, yeah, this kindergarten, sorry, this school here is way down in the hole. I think we should have this a little bit higher. Yeah, a little bit higher, but is it possible? Because the building next door did create some problems. Let's try let's try with the school. Did we say school? Yeah, we said school. We said school over here. So let's go with the second. So let's go with this school, Alaskan style school, Alaska school. Okay, this looks exactly what we are supposed to be doing here. Okay, a little bit more. No, that's it. Okay, let's build this one over here. I will build all the path that we need over here. What else do we need? I'm missing something. We need our residential. Yeah, I know about residential, but you know what? Let's no. Don't place the path first because we will need. We have gym. We can probably start this. We have here City Hall, we have it, cinema, we have library, we have school, we need kindergarten. We can place it. I'm thinking where we're going to be placing the residential buildings. Maybe in extension here, maybe around here, maybe right next to the mine, as far as I consider. I don't think it's going to be that much pollution, but still, I think it's probably going to be considerable. Let's try with a residential now. I like these slim buildings, Oolykee, and we said that we need 250 people building. So this is 58. We would need, oh sorry, we said 500 people. We would need 10-ish of those buildings, and I'm totally not against that. I'm totally for this kind of project. Maybe, no, I think they're gonna have to be in this direction. So something like this would definitely be something that I would be interested in. Let's see if we can, where would I, if I was a building, where would I want to be placed? Let's try leveling this a little bit to the level of the road, of the path here, and if you're gonna be placing 10-ish of those buildings. Now these, we can go for 65, even higher ones, which actually it's not a bad idea. Are they parallel? Are they feng shui? They seem to be. So let's try to make it work like this. Let's go for 1 and the 2 and the 3 and 4. 4 of these tall buildings here. So this is initially what I'm going to be constructing, and these are primarily, I hope, that they're going to be mine workers, because it looks like it's going to be mine and processing facility workers. So we're going to have town workers as well. But let's start with this. Let's start with this first, with this path. As soon as they finish the path, hopefully they're going to start on the buildings as well. Okay, how you doing here? How you doing? Heating? Heating is done. Okay, do you have heating? No, you don't. Why you don't have heating? Because there's nobody working here. Why is nobody working here? Let's see. The distances are too great. Is this something that we can take care of, or is this going to be a problem? Maybe I should build a bus stop. I mean, like, it's kind of duh, but maybe I should build a bus stop here. Let's go and build a couple of more pathways, because winter is already raging and it's already February. If we're gonna have any issues, we already had them. If they are supposed to die, all of them, they would already die. we do have a lot of casualties, I can see. These buildings were full, and there's a lot of reason for them to be unhappy, but hopefully we're gonna resolve this. Excuse me. I'm gonna wait for them to finish construction of the paths here, and as soon as they're done with that, we'll see if we have range to all of these industries over here. We can see that there's a range over here, and we're missing bitumen and cement. Okay, let's start with those two first. I will start supply of both bitumen and cement. Do we want to go for distribution? Let's go for distribution. I'm just gonna go and distribute cement and bitumen from here. Hopefully that's gonna be fine. Let's go for one and the other. So this is cement and this is bitumen. So let's see if unloading is selected here. Yes, it is. And I'll just select them just in case they don't start spreading gravel around. Delivering gravel. Okay, so this is fine. This is still a problem because they still didn't finish this road. And we'll see Statsovo is gonna get the people connection over here. What I'm gonna try to do here, 30 meters, 42, okay, so this is 39, looks like it's gonna be every meter counts. This is additional 30 meters. Let's try to construct this and see if this is gonna work. The other option I have is just building more buildings, which I actually did plan on doing, because I was thinking of replacing these wooden houses with something more Soviet style. So, you know, we need to inflict our culture upon the natives over here. So yeah, maybe I can start on these buildings anyway and then work from there. And you know, either we need it or not. I think they're much better living spaces than the wooden houses that they have, and I think they look much nicer. I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of apartments, and I'm a fan of you know, simplicity. Obviously being simpleton myself, but yeah, this is what I'm fan of. You know, like square, doesn't matter. If it does the job, if it looks stupid and works, it's not stupid. So maybe something like this. Maybe rotate this one in this direction and then level the ground all the way to here. Or my rear end, this is not gonna work. I don't know if I should be using words like ass. I use them all the time in real life, but I'm trying to be nice, family-friendly guy here, which I mean I'm fine, but still, you know, like you can't really express yourself. If you want a nice comedian, the Irish have Tommy Tiernan, especially his junkie days. He was extremely funny, and he said how the F word is that he should be speaking Irish, and nobody, like, not a lot of people speak that language. Actually, I started studying Irish language, but anyway, and Tommy Tiernan said that you know, F word, because he's not a native English speaker, he should be speaking Irish, and he doesn't speak it. That his body and isn't built for this crude language like English, and he designated F as a chisel, F word as a chisel between them and the audience, you know, in order to present his point of view. Interesting. It's Tom Tiernan is a nice guy. Check it out. Anyway, actually check my videos first, of course. Kidding here. Right, financially we're doing fine. Winter has passed. We are in 1968, spring of 68. Summer of 65, right? No, that one passed. That one passed a long time ago. Okay, paths here. Paths are done. Let me see if we have coverage. We don't have coverage. So the problem here is that we don't have coverage to our residential buildings, and I'm gonna go straight away and say that this is not going to work for us, that we're gonna have to go and construct more of these residential buildings closer to our industrial zone. I really don't want to put buses to use. I have no reason not to do it. I just feel not that I don't want to use buses. You know, additional infrastructure, fuel spending, and this kind of stuff when they can walk there. I was hoping. I don't know how long these series are gonna be, how many Alaskan episodes we're gonna make, but I was hoping that we're gonna, you know, properly start developing Central Valley, but this might not be the case, guys. I just wanted to prepare everybody and set expectations. I did talk about this. I will talk about it again. If I'm repeating myself, I don't care. What I wanted to say is that making a YouTube video, you have to be interesting. Not only because BC.24 said that I oversold these series as a hard mode challenge, because I didn't. I straight away said that I don't want to make hard mode challenge, and if a lot of you started watching this series because you expected a hard mode challenge, I'm sorry about that. It was supposed to be hard, but not HMC style. So I never wanted to make that, and but it's not the reason why people are losing interest in any videos. Check out any series of any YouTuber, which I'm definitely not. You can see that the first episode and the last episode will have a huge discrepancy between the number of views in each one of them. It's just because people just lose interest, and the series needs to be interesting, and if we export gravel for 10 years in order to save up enough money for a hospital, that's not going to be interesting for anybody. So that's why I decided to go between 30 and 50 hours or episodes of play on, well, on recent maps. I did Canvo of 150 hours. It was fun, but it was maybe too much fun. Oh my god, this is done. Let's see how the railroads are looking. Mr. Toprus, if you're looking at this, hopefully I'm gonna get your criticism here. I can see that this side might be a little bit too much. But this is also the railroad ending, but I tried my best. The problem is, if you don't correctly set it up, you will get this. Your railroad is going to disappear into the asphalt. Luckily for me, it happened on the far side where the railroad actually ends, and kind of looks not even close that it actually ends. It should be these train stoppers or whatever they're called. So we have all these industries set up here, and it's ready to go. Ready to rumble. Will we be able to do this? I don't know. Will we be able to... Oh boy. Oh right, this is the totally different animal. Oh, my bad. Right, well, I just noticed that we didn't build several other things around here. We need... How is this built? Oh right, we had a mother road coming here. Okay, let's do Let's do the road on this side. There's a reason why I'm building it on this side. Let me just go like this. Right, and this one is in the opposite direction, but you know what? I will be building it in this direction as well. The only reason behind it is because I need a little bit of a road access here so I can put a footpath going all the way here and here. That's it. And then we're gonna have a footpath going from here to 150 here, obviously. Yes, it can be constructed from this side, that's fine. The problem is if you construct, for example, this kind of footpath, this is not gonna work. These two footpaths will not be connected correctly, and you're gonna have issues with this. They won't be able to be built. Anyway, we are slowly closing down to the end of this episode, and what I wanted to say that we also, because of bad planning on my part, tunnel is done. Bad planning on my part, we actually have a huge bottleneck of railroad not being done. Also, bear in mind that this railroad not only needs to be constructed, it actually has to have electricity connected to it, and we are pretty far away from that. But we're gonna do our best. You can see that a lot of construction is happening at the moment. That's really nice to see. Hopefully they're gonna finish a lot of these buildings and footpaths over here. We'll see. Hopefully we're gonna get Iron Town up and running soon enough. We did start on, again, more and more steel demand, well, steel structures, that is gonna have a huge steel demand. We are at 54 tons of steel at the moment, and again, bad organization on my side. You can see that we have the construction offices that are doing nothing at all. So that's a bad planning on my part. We probably should have been using them to construct something, maybe even manually. They might be too far away from, let's say, Iron City, but we can always try to assign them to some buildings. Oh, sorry, construction is here, my bad. Oh, okay, they can be assigned here. Fine, go and work. We can start on the mines as well. While we are here, let's start on this mine real quickly. We are running out of time. Let's do real quick connection. Mine over here, and then we're gonna need this mine. Let's go over here. There we go, and I will assign this one here as well. It's gonna be a little bit more challenging for them to drive all the way here, but hopefully it's not impossible. Right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, press the like button. If you didn't, leave a nasty comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, notification bell, ring it, comment section, hit it, and that's it. See you in the next one. Bye bye.